It's easy to forget that beneath the calm blue waters of the world's seas, entire cities have vanished from sight lost to the tides. Sometimes overnight, sometimes over centuries. Yet, these sunken cities did not sink quietly. There remain still whisper stories, sometimes along the Mediterranean, sometimes beneath the Indian Ocean, their stones resting where feet once hurried and lives once flourished. Let's start with the obvious, Atlantis. Everyone's heard the name, and everyone's heard the debates. Was Plato spinning an elaborate allegory, or did he hear echoes of something real, a city lost, not just to myth, but to the sea?
Ow.
While the search for Atlantis has launched 1,000 documentaries, our story isn't concerned with myth, but with what's actually still lying hidden, waiting to be found. Take, for example, the city of Heracleion. For centuries, its very existence was doubted. Historians dismissed ancient texts as exaggerations. After all, shouldn't something as grand as a metropolis on Egypt's Mediterranean coast, bigger than Alexandria Ave, left behind obvious traces? But in the year 2000, a team led by underwater archaeologist Frank Godeo finally located the ruins of Heracleion, not on land, but under 30 feet of water and layers of sand. Their huge statues, tablets, and streets were revealed, surprisingly well preserved. All because roughly 1,200 years ago, the city had been erased from the map by earthquakes and the slow, inevitable subsidence of the Nile Delta. Exploring Heracleion wasn't like opening a tomb in the desert. The divers faced zero visibility one moment and the next, chanced upon an entire 16-foot statue of a pharaoh, lying on its side, as if toppled in slow motion by the relentless push of rising tides. Out came sphinxes, columns, hundreds of gold coins, and ceremonial boats, forgotten in the gloom for more than 1,000 years. There was wonder, of course, and a trace of irony. Heracleion, city famous in ancient times for guiding Greek traders safely to Egypt, had itself been pulled down by the sea just as quietly as it had once welcomed arrivals. But it doesn't end there. Far from the heat of the Egyptian sun, another city sank directly into history, and this one, not beneath salt water, but just below the mud and brackish lakes of what's now Turkey. This is the city of Samina. The 2nd century, Samina was a thriving Lycian port. One day, tremors shook the ground. Buildings chased the water back as the earth shifted. For time, waves gradually swallowed lower Samina. Today, you can still see rooftops poking just above the turquoise surface, steps that vanish beneath the water, and half-submerged stone tombs where the living once went about their daily rituals. Local fishermen glide silently above ancient causeways on wooden boats, sometimes peering down to spot old mosaics gleaming under the sunlit shallows. Archaeologists are, unfortunately, strictly forbidden to dig here. But that suits the local legend just fine. Samina's story, after all, is best told by what remains visible. A city in two halves. One belonging to the living, one quietly claimed by the sea. Then across the world there's Dwarka. According to Hindu legend, this city was built by Lord Krishna himself, so wealthy its walls were studded with gems, till the sea, jealous perhaps, reclaimed it in a single cataclysmic night. For centuries, this too was written off as fable until, off India's western coast, archaeologists in the early 2000s located evidence of structures, anchors, and pottery beneath the waves. Carbon dating put some of the finds at nearly 4,000 years old. Though the debate continues, were these the legendary walls, or simply remnants of an unknown ancient port? The truth is complicated, and the current isn't about to give up all its secrets. What unites these cities isn't just the tragedy of their loss, but the way they played hide-and-seek with history. Whole stretches of coast changed, almost imperceptibly, as erosion, earthquakes, and tides buried everything beneath mud and foam. Generations forgot, then remembered, then searched. Sometimes coming away with nothing, sometimes resurfacing fragments that rewrite books. The pattern, it seems, almost never changes. A prosperous port city grows where land meets water, flourishes for centuries. Then, when tectonic plates shift or sea levels surge, loses the gamble and descends below the waves. The city is gone, but not forever. Someone someday, chasing a rumor or following a sonar ping, will find it again. Marble amphora here, a marble statue there. Every new discovery reminding us that history, no matter how deeply hidden, is rarely lost beyond recall. The world's sunken cities are a quiet testimony not just to disaster, but to resilience, memory, and the endless curiosity of those who want to know what came before. And as the seas keep their secrets, there's always the chance that the next great city, lost and forgotten, is waiting to be found in the blue just below our feet.